Okay, so here's the news. The US law can't invest since they are being in this big position that they can inside trade. Okay, so we'll get into that, but first let's check an update on the BTC chart. Okay, so the first thing, okay, so BTC chart can do 2 to 3 things. Okay, so BTC right now it's more probably going to bounce this at it can bounce at 28,760 support. It can bounce, or it can break this. It can break this and make this a resistance, and then mostly all the altcoins too is going down. Okay, but the main thing right now is BTC needs to break this resistance at 29,400. Okay, yeah, at this resistance, being this big resistance, you can see, right? Yeah, this big resistance, BTC needs to break that 29,400. You can see it will, once it breaks that 29,400, once it breaks that, it will make it as support, right? So all your altcoins too will make its own support, right? So then we need to check on your altcoins what they will do. Okay, so right now you all know that it can either break this 28,760 support, it can break, or right now it can bounce it. Okay, it can bounce at 28,760. Okay, so we need to keep in mind for the altcoins to trade that. Okay, so now let's talk about your next chart, which is your Ethereum chart. Okay, so for your Ethereum chart too, if Bitcoin bounces your 28,760, which is more probably going to, if it bounces that, Ethereum too will bounce its own support at 1,880. You can take. Okay, from there it will to bounce, so we need to put a buying order right here, and we need to put our sell order at 1,960, because we don't know whether Bitcoin will further break that resistance, that big resistance at 29,400. Okay, only once it breaks it, makes support, then we put again a buy entry, and then we put a stop loss. Then if Bitcoin goes up, it's more probably going to $32,000. Okay, then Ethereum too will go its own way. Okay, Ethereum also too will go up, right? Okay, so now, okay, so 1 second, let's check that. I did something. No, I didn't do. Okay, so now let's talk about your next chart. You'll know about Ethereum, right? But if I didn't tell you about this, but if Bitcoin doesn't bounce, then this too will break its own support, and it will probably go down. Okay, so for Ethereum chart, once it breaks this support at 1,847, once it breaks, makes a resistance, we enter all our short entries here, and I take profit right here, 1,773. Okay, but more probably a bounce is more likely to come. Okay, so you need to focus on that. Okay, so now let's talk about your next chart, which is your avax. Okay, so for avax chart 2, we are expecting a bounce from BTC to 28,760. So avax 2 will bounce to $16.94. Okay, so it's more probably going up. Okay, so once it bounces, it's going up to $18.06. Okay, so only if Bitcoin breaks its 29,400 resistance, right, and it makes its own support, B2 will enter a big long buy position right here once it makes as support, because BTC is more probably going up, and we put a stop loss, because if it doesn't go, then we are safe, right? But if Bitcoin doesn't bounce that support at 28,760, then your AVAX 2 will break it will break, and it will go here, it will go down, right? But only if your AVAX breaks this support, which is more like, which can also happen, your $16.38 breaks it right here. Let's see, it breaks this, makes a resistance, we enter a short entry, and we ride it all the way to $14.26, only if it breaks this. Okay, so Bitcoin will too break its own support. Okay, so now let's talk about your next one, which is your Solana. Okay, so for Solana chart is little bit different, because it's having a different pattern on the chart. Okay, so for Solana chart will bounce. You can see this $22.10. Okay, so once it bounces that, we'll be probably selling it here, anywhere here between $22.73. Only that is only if Bitcoin will bounce, this too will bounce, and it'll go till here. Okay, Now the main thing of Bitcoin is once it breaks it 29,400 resistance, right? This too, Solana 2 will break its own resistance at $22.73. Once it makes the support, which Bitcoin 2 will do it, and then we need to enter all our buying long position on your Solana. Then Bitcoin 2 is going to $32,000 and we put a stop loss. Okay. So now if Bitcoin doesn't bounce at 28,760 support, this too, your Solana chart is more probably going down right here to $21.29. Only if Solana breaks this support also at $21.29. Once it breaks, makes a resistance, we enter a short entry and we ride it all the way to 19.88 cents. Okay, so now let's talk about your next chart, which is your dot. Okay, so for your dot also, your dot chart, you can see this, it broke this, it kind of gave a fake. The dot chart too, if Bitcoin bounced at 28,760 support, then your dot will bounce its own support. It's right here actually. I'll show you right here. It'll go around here. Okay, right here. Now where it is. So your dot will bounce at this $5.74. It'll bounce this if only Bitcoin bounces 28,760, and then it's more probably going to this resistance at $6.19. They will probably put a sell limit. Only if Bitcoin breaks its own resistance at 29,400 breaks, Bitcoin will make support. We'll to enter a dot position. It will break, make a support. We enter all our dot buying long position where BTC is going to 32 and dot 2 is going up, right? So that's where we enter a big long dot position. But if Bitcoin doesn't break that, if Bitcoin breaks that 28,760 support, then this too is going down. Okay, so then we'll see a short position. Right now we don't know exactly where it will happen, but more probably it will be here and it'll give a second low high, and then we can enter a short here, and then it's more probably going down. That's only if BTC does breaks that support at 28,760. Okay, so now let's talk about your next chart, which is your ADA. Okay, so for Cardano, you know, BTC needs to bounce 28,760, then this too is going to go to this resistance at 0.41 cents. They'll put a sell limit. Okay, but only if Bitcoin breaks its own resistance at 29,400 resistance. This too, current 2 will break its resistance at 0.41 cents, make it as support. Bitcoin 2 will break that and go to 32. Then once this makes it as support, your ADA will enter a big long position, because your ADA chart altcoins 2 is going to fly, right? But if Bitcoin doesn't break that support at 28,760, then ADA 2 will break its own support over here. It will come down, and only if it breaks its support at 0.38 cents, right, makes a resistance, we enter a short entry, ride it all the way to 0.35 cents. Okay, so now let's talk about the next one, which is your algorithm. Okay, so for your algorithm, right, so algorithm is same like dot. Okay, so algorithm will just be holding, will not be shorting, only will be buying. Once it bounces here, which Bitcoin is going to bounce at 28,760, and will be selling at around 0.19 cents. Okay, but only if Bitcoin breaks that 29,400 resistance, then this too will break its own resistance at 0.19 cents, make support, we enter big long positions, and then we ride it all the way. Okay, so we can't short this because the lowest it has gone is here. The lowest has gone, if you see on a daily, it's going to 0.16 cents. So probably a good buying opportunity. Okay, so now let's talk about your next chart, which is your near chart. Okay, so for your near chart too, the near chart is going to bounce it. If Bitcoin bounces at 28,760 support, your near chart too will bounce here at $1.84, and it will bounce, and it's more probably going up to here at $2.02. And only if Bitcoin breaks its resistance at 29,400 resistance, then near will break its own resistance at $2.02, make support. if BTC is more probably going to $32,000. Okay, then we enter, when this makes the support, we enter a big long near positions. Okay, but if Bitcoin doesn't break that, right, the same way as dot, this too will break its own here, makes this as a higher low, and then we enter a short right here, and then we ride it all the way till here at $1.72 for your near chart. Okay, so now let's talk about your last chart, which is your phantom. Okay, so see, your phantom is almost reached here, right? At it's almost reached here at 0.044 cents. Okay, so if so right now we'll be selling it right here, but only if BTC breaks it 29,400 resistance and makes support, and then goes to 32. This too will break its resistance, make support. We enter all our big longs on FTM at 0.44 cents. But if Bitcoin doesn't break that, if Bitcoin breaks that 28,760 support, this too will go, you can say, it'll go from here to here. Okay, it'll go here to here. Okay, so we can't say we have a short, because we don't know exactly whether it will. We know, yeah, we'll know, but we'll not. It'll be here only, then we can see. But this is we'll check on that also. Once it breaks, makes it a low high, you can short here. But that's kind of this. Okay, so we need to watch that. Okay, so now let's talk about your crypto trends. So here's your crypto trends. So Wu is pumping, then FTM, which you all seen just now. Now let's talk about your Wu also. Let's put your Wu in crypto. I didn't put Wu. WOO USDT. Okay, so here it is. Okay, so STX pumped. Okay, so right, STX is here. We need to wait and watch. Okay, so right now STX is breaking its own support at 0.78 cents. We'll be needing to wait till here, you can say, to watch whether it breaks this resistance. Okay, right here. Okay, right here, we'll be waiting to watch right here. If it breaks this, then it's not an upward trend. Okay, so we need to watch this. It needs to, for us to buy a big longs, we need to bounce. Okay, so once it bounces that, we're more probably going up. Okay, but we need to watch that. Okay, on your STX. Okay, then your next one is Wu. Okay, so for your Wu, right now Wu broke this big resistance, if you can see here, right here. Okay, so Wu broke its resistance right here, you all can see it. So once it comes, it broke its resistance. If it broke its resistance, more probably it's going to make, if it makes this as a, you can say, it will come here somewhere. We either need to enter the stop loss. Okay, it's more probably going up. Okay, so that's what we'll be seeing on Wu also. Okay, we'll be seeing on Wu. Till now it's not exactly saying that it's on upward trend, the same way as STX. Okay, so let's see INJ. Okay, so INJ also too didn't break, it's on a downward trend. Okay, so now let's come to the crypto news, which most of y'all probably come. Okay, so first news, let's talk about 𝗬𝗀𝗀𝗀𝘀, former Opeansea manager. Okay, so 𝗬𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, former Opeansea manager in NFT inside trading, right? So as you all know that the former head of Opeansea, he had done insider trading, that he knew on Opeansea that he would purchase this NFT, which he knew would feature on the Opeansea homepage. Okay, so he would buy it before it even, he knew that it would be featured on the Opeansea page, right? He would buy it, and then when it would feature, he would sell it for a profit. Okay, so he's right now, he's charged for insider trading and money laundering for doing that thing on Opeansea. Okay, so right now if you see that this case is the first insider trading case that involves digital assets. Okay, that's NFTs. Okay, so now let's talk about your next news, which is Coinbase loses expected to narrow. Okay, so Coinbase loses, analyst seeks detail about international exchange. Okay, so right now Coinbase in Q1, right, of US, the Coinbase of US, they've made 8% revenue. But if you could see their, compared to previous year, their share of Coinbase share lost around $1.44. Okay, so that's the loss that they have. Okay, so right now they are they are they are about to launch international exchange in Bermuda. Okay, so they are launching this Bermuda exchange of derivatives. So that's kind of a bullish news for the Coinbase share if you have, because perpetual they are launching on they are launching it at Bermuda. Okay, so now let's talk about your next one, which is Coinbase to cease issuing new Bitcoin backed loans via borrowing services. Okay, so as you all know, with this news only, Coinbase is stopping their borrowing and lending. Okay, where people they can give their Bitcoin to deposit in Coinbase, and they can borrow $1 million, okay, in cash. Okay, so here's the news that these guys got in US, only the US customers. Okay, so the US customers can't borrow. Okay, they are whatever their loan they have of their Bitcoin, that's not considered, but the new loans won't be considered, so they can't take more new loans after this. Okay, since because of the regulatory of US this thing is happening. Okay, so now let's talk about your next one, which is 21 million of Curve Finance algo stablecoin minted since mainnet launch. Okay, so right now Curve Finance, right, has launched its own stablecoin. Okay, CRV USD. Okay, so see here it is, CRV USD. Okay, so they launched their own stablecoin, but this platform is not the only one to launch, but right now it launched its own. And right now if you see, within like around five one two, you see, one two one two three four five, around 5 or 6 transaction, 20, around this all this 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 9 10 11, around this 10 transaction, right, 22 million became with this 10 transaction only. So right now they minted 22 million stable coin of CRV USD. Okay, but this is not the only one who have done. Even Aave, MakerDAO have already have their own, so it will be a competition for Curve Finance, Aave and MakerDAO. Okay, so now let's talk about your next news, which is Bitcoin Association moves from New York to Washington DC. Okay, so Bitcoin Association Bitcoin Association is a crypto advocate for crypto. Right now they are moving to, from Washington they are moving to New York. It's because New York has that strict regulation, right, on, because of the mining law, then the FTX collapse, all the laws they are doing. So they are right now they're shifting to New York to, so that they can reduce the impact of enforcement action on the crypto space, and even a clear clarification of what's the rule of mining and everything. Okay, so this is kind of a bullish news for crypto, because they're shifting from Washington to New York just to tackle with the law and regulation, right? Since it's kind of having a impact on the market, which is not going to grow the industry in New York, in US, right? So now let's talk about your next one, which is, this is the news of the thumbnail. US law introduces bipartisan bill posing ban on members investing in financial instrument, right? With the headlines only, you know that the US people right now with this law, if this law, US law, that's called bipartisan, once this is proposed, they can't, the, I'll just close this, they can't, any US lawmaker can't own and trade crypto stocks. So they'll be banned from trading crypto stocks, since they'll already have that, it will be like an insider trading, and they'll already have certain information that can either tank the price of cryptocurrency or pump the price of stock or tank the price of stock, right? So they can't even tell their spouse to trade or their friends to trade for them. Okay, but if they do it, they'll be fined around $50,000. Okay, so so this is the law. So that's it for your crypto news. If you like content like this, just give it a like, hit that subscribe button. ping the notification bell on so you don't miss content like this and you're early to watch. Peace out, crypto fam.